Well, hello out there, lubrication world. This is your good old buddy Luke Duke, lubrication's in and out specialist here. And today we're going to be talking about little history lessons. I gave you a little history on a man in the cave, and finding well blubber, how it started a fire. Yeah, started a fire, right? But today we're going to be talking about Lewis and Clark and their adventures to try to discover America. Well, they set out on this adventure. They're following this river down through there, and they decided to stop and camp tonight. It was nice, sandy, freshwater fish. Yeah. Well, they went to bed that night, woke up next morning, they seen a snail track. It was awful wet. It's like, this is not a normal snail. This is a wet snail track. So they stayed another night. They did their research and find twigs and berries and stuff like that to take back to the people and call them what their names were, whatnot. Well, they stayed there night and they woke up next morning. There was 2 snail tracks, 2 different ones, both wet. Well, they decided to stay night and gonna keep an eye out this time. Well, they did. They kept an eye out, and they discovered that it was an Indian coming there squatting, leaving snail tracks, wet snail tracks. Well, they followed this Indian, back to their tribe, which was called the Slapaho tribe. Well, they got good friends with the chief there. His name was Big Pimp Chief, and he had a sidekick named started on that train. Well, they talked to running on that train and Big Pimp Chief about these squalls around there, because they just had nothing but squalls. And it's kind of weird, because usually a chief has a bunch of feathers. He just had one. But oh well. Well, they talked to the chief there, and he said, "Yeah, that's Pocahontas. Pocahontas is always wet. She's got to be." And I was like, "Why?" "Because you got poker in the anus. It's just Pocahontas is wet." And I'm like, "Huh? What about the second snail track?" And they said, "Well, that was swallows. Swallows, she's good. She's a good squaw." But they called over Pocahontas. Big Pimp Chief did. Well, called her over. Said, "Pocahontas, what are you doing down there by the river with these white men?" She said, "Well, I just wanted to see what a white man was. Never saw one before." Well, they stayed the night there, at the Slapaho tribe. They had a dang old good night at the Slapaho tribe. Tell you what, Pocahontas, she put on one hell of a show for them, and swallows, oh yeah, she was there too. Well, that's a little history lesson for today. How Lewis and Clark discovered snail lube. Well, this is your good buddy, Luke Duke, In and Out Lubrication Services. I tell you what, I'll do the screwing, I'll do the lubing, so you can screw him. Catch y'all on the flip side.